Can I show you this? I'm actually a university student from the Empire of Japan, you see. That means nothing to me. No, why would it? Mr. Naruto, if you're determined to flaunt your Yubei badge, at least choose a Japanese person who might recognize it. Yeah. Mr. Sato, can I show you this? Maybe later. Ooh, I could show you Inspector Hosonaga too. Yeah, he has that same glint of showing people his badges and such to feel proud about himself. I don't know. I don't know anything. It's Naruto. You're frightening the poor girl. Oh, sorry. I wasn't trying to. It is a spooky seal! Like what a yokai would wear. Because I feel like I've seen like one of those yokais with this kind of paper seal on their faces and such. I think that's a yokai. I don't know. Okay, this is gonna spook her like a lot. Yeah, show her the corpse of your dead friend. Miss Pavlova, about this article. Did you know about its merciless revolutionary already? No. But when I saw the picture, I couldn't believe it. He looks just like me in my disguise. Huh? Am I the only one around here with eyes? The other man, the one wearing the brown, he also said so. He said we look the same. He says a lot of things. But I have a strong feeling that besides you and the great detective, you won't find another soul in this ocean who thinks there's any similarity there at all. Miss Naruto, I won't allow you to speak ill of Mr. Shams. No, I wouldn't dream of it. But yeah, okay. I guess a part of me was thinking that... Okay. The revolutionary escaped from Shanghai. And the ballerina, Nikolina Pavlovna, also escaped from Shanghai. So it made me think that maybe there's a connection between the two, that they both disappeared at the same time. Maybe a kidnapping, maybe they worked together, maybe to steal the tiara. But, nah, I mean, this article right over here about the villain Bolshevik, I guess from a mystery perspective, from a narrative perspective, this evidence that we found over here, like the article about the revolutionary, this could be like a misdirection. Misdirection is the word. A red herring, something like that. Like it would make us think that we are gonna have to deal with the villain Bolshevik at some point. But maybe this could have been like a red herring into making us think that villain Bolshevik has something to do with this. Hence why we have this girl right over here that is quote-unquote dressed similarly to villain Bolshevik. To have Sholmes say that, this is villain Bolshevik. And then Leonovsky appears to say, nah, this is not villain Bolshevik. And something tells me that villain Bolshevik has nothing to do with this case. So, yeah, it could be that villain Bolshevik is gonna end up not being important to this case like whatsoever. Since we had this reveal with Nikolina that there's nothing about villain Bolshevik, but I guess we shall see. You look so beautiful, like a fairy. I'm scared. If my picture is in the newspaper. You poor girl. She's so young. Just 15 years old. For her to have run away all by herself. She must have felt very, very alone. Okay, in which case, I guess we're gonna be questioning her about the sound. This is the diary of my friend who passed away. His diary? Yeah, and he wrote in it last night before he died. Something a little unusual. He reads, 1:23 a.m. I can hear a faint whistling sound. Oh, wait, hold on a second. Do snakes do whistling sounds? I feel like before I was saying, nah, they don't. Like, unless the or that sound, is that also considered a whistle? In which case, this could very well be a snake. She has a sneaky stick. And I guess the plate on the floor also explains a snake. Or something. Maybe. And then a few minutes later, 1:45 a.m., it looks like some sort of speckled band is dangling from the ventilator grill. A speckled band? I don't understand. It's strange, isn't it? But the ventilator he mentions joins to this cabin, you see. It's up there on the wall. In other words, this cabin and the victim's cabins are connected together. Nah, that's a hiss. That would not be considered a whistle, in my eyes. Oh. Miss Pavlova? Has something occurred to you? Does the speckled band the victim mentioned mean something to you? Or the whistling sound, perhaps? No. I don't know anything. No. Knock, 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 knock! Excuse me, Mr. Ronald. Yeah? What? Wow, she's fast. Yeah, no joking. Captain would like to speak with you. You must come to Captain's quarters at once, please. All right, I will come now. What? You must leave. Now. No, it's fine. Don't mind us. We're just gonna stay here. We're not gonna go through your stuff. Yeah, please don't worry yourself, Mr. Rallo. Get out! The passenger said out. Or do you want me to throw you out? Yeah, it looks like we'll have to leave instead of getting this cabin until later. What a pity. And so we lost our chance. And we still not managed to investigate Miss Pavlova's cabin. We were unceremoniously chased out. And that is to say, we were quite literally picked up and thrown into the passageway outside. Ninth January, SS Beauty, first class cabin passageway. I wish we hadn't been thrown out like that. I wish we'd managed to find some clue as to what that speckled band might be. Also, Sholmes, where are you? We didn't manage to investigate at all. Something tells me that Sholmes actually hid himself in the wardrobe inside. He closed the wardrobe doors and he managed to hide without attracting Stroganov's and Roadlow's attention. And he's now inside investigating. And I imagine that we won't be able to for a while longer. We'll never get past that sailor guarding the door. He's clearly glaring at us. I have something to say. Don't even think about it. Oh, wait a minute.
What is it?
Well, what happened to our great detective friend? Where the hell did he go?
Oh, yes. He's completely disappeared.
Kind of makes me question. Like, I would like to go inside our own cabin and see if we can talk to Sholmes from the other side, like through the ventilator. Like, maybe we could talk to each other if Sholmes is inside. I need to do that. He slipped away as quietly as the wind. Not before ensuring these were securely back on my wrist. Yep. Sholmes would surely make like a great magic performer. He disappears like a pro. Okay, well, we checked that. Check that. Hey there, guy. Hey there, fella. I wish we had a chance to look around in Miss Pavlova's cabin. What? Why you look like that? You want something? Maybe you want me to throw you out again? Oh, no. Oh, definitely not. Next I have to throw you out. I show you where lobsters spend winter. Understand? I understand. Sir, yes, sir. Maybe I should steer clear of him until he has forgotten my face.
No, I don't think he'll ever forget your face, Naruto-san.
Okay, well, I guess so. I guess that is the end of that chapter. We're not gonna be able to get out here. And it's locked, too. We don't even open it. We cannot even, like, even if it was unlocked, we won't be able to go because of Stroganoff.
Oh, well, that stands to reason. No one wants to let the murderer escape.
She gave me a very stern look when she said that. Okay, well, in that case, I guess the one thing that we can do is go back inside our cabin, I guess. Sheesh, Susato is quite a savage sometimes. Okay, let's see. Let's go inside of, like, the first cabin. And see if I'm right, if we're gonna be able to manage to talk to Sholmes via the ventilator and such. Although there is this guy. It looks like they're still investigating here.
Yeah. On that subject, I wonder if Inspector Hasanaka isn't skated.
What do you mean, unscathed?
Surely you haven't forgotten, have you, Miss Naruto-san? Don't you remember what he said about allowing you out to this cabin to investigate? He was going to talk to the captain about it. He said he'd lay his life on the line for you.
Oh, yes. But I'm sure he was exaggerating. Let's see what he has to say for himself. He might have some new information for us. You never know. Okay. Well, first things first. Oh, Asanaga. Hold on, let me check something here first, Asanaga. So this ventilator joins to Miss Pavlova's cabin.
Yeah, that's right.
And just a few minutes before he died, Kazuma saw something emerging from it. The speckled band, as he described it.
If only Miss Pavlova had been able to shed some light on it. But she seemed as bateful as we are.
Yeah. I wonder if she's telling us everything, though. I mean, she probably doesn't know what a speckled band is. But you could still be talking about a sneaky snake.
I'm not sure.
I know most people aboard would say the same about me, but There was something about that woman that didn't sit right with me. Okay, I guess so. Oh boy. It surely did not go well, did it, Osanaga? Ah, you're back. Inspector.
What happened to you? Your face is...
Please, don't worry about it. They're just scratches. Man, this captain must be a brute, in order for him to do that. Maybe by a bear, maybe. When I told the captain that I'd given you permission to investigate, he told me he'd pummel me with his fists, and then toss me overboard. What? Are you kidding me? But the pummeling was over in a flash, and he must have decided against throwing me overboard. So, it was nothing, really. It's like he wasn't joking when he said he'd lay his life on the line if he had to.
Well, thanks to your efforts, we know a little about the neighboring
Cabin. Yeah, so I understand.
Oh?
I bumped into a man claiming to be a great detective a little while ago. I think his name was something like Herr Lock Schons. I don't think he was German though. Wait, when? It must have been when, like, before we entered Pavlova's cabin. When he entered, and he had his urge to kick the door off its hinges. It was during that. That explains it. Shall we compare notes then? I mean, we can tell you what we found out. Yes, let's do it. Okay. What? Nikolina Pavlova? She's in the cabin next door? Oh, do you know who she is? Please, what self-respecting ballet fan would know that graceful angel? Oh. Oops, I think I upset him there. Well, that tells us that the neighboring cabin is unrelated to the case at least. I won't go so far as to say that. Oh, how? Because angels don't go around committing crimes, do they? Oops, now I've definitely upset him.
Inspector, his investigation here proved fruitful?
Like, I'm still confused about, like, the Nets came, like, right there, like, half of that pink bell, and the brick color on the floor. Like, what is that? Like, I'm thinking of all sorts of situations that led to this. Like, I'm thinking that at first glance, it could have been like poison. Like, once again, we're going with multiple plans over here. Like, plan A, the culprit wanted to poison. Well, maybe not poison. Like, put Kazuma to sleep with that turkey. With that, well, not turkey, but chicken. So Kazuma got the chicken, but, well, it was Ryonosuke who ate the chicken when the culprit actually wanted the Kazuma to eat the chicken, because as far as the culprit knew, Kazuma was the only one here, so of course Kazuma would be the one to eat that. The culprit didn't expect that someone else would eat the chicken. So Ryonosuke eats a chicken, and then after he went inside the cabin, he started feeling woozy and such, and he fell asleep. And then the culprit would actually enter, or a crewman would actually enter in disguise as the culprit and such. And they would notice that, wait a minute, Kazuma is not asleep because of my dose of poisoning. What the heck is going on over here? So They walk away and they say, fuck, my plan didn't work. I guess it's time for plan B or something. And then at 1:35, they deployed their second plan with this whole speckled band thing. / they entered the room and did what they did to Kazuma, and they wrote a message. Well, actually, okay. They would check inside the wardrobe to see, oh, wait a second, there's another person here? And apparently this guy is sleeping. Oh, this must be the guy that ate the chicken. Okay. And then it sparked some new idea inside him. What if he were to pin the crime on this guy that is apparently sleeping in the wardrobe? So they close the wardrobe back with a seal and then write the message, hey, like a wardrobe, meaning that the culprit would be inside the wardrobe. So that would be something. But I have no idea what the whole thing with the bell and the brick has anything to do with this whole thing. I keep thinking, I'm trying to think of possibilities over here. Even if we are to think that the bell, like the pink bell, came from Susato, I have no idea where that brick color thing is coming from. Our duty is to make sure the scene isn't disturbed. Ready to hand over to Hong Kong police. Unless that is actually blood? Maybe that is blood. That's just colored. Like all gray, like all brick-like and such. Our duty is to make sure the scene isn't disturbed. Ready to hand over to the Hong Kong police. So I'm just keeping watching. Try not to take my eyes off the job. Oh, I see. Yeah, there is one thing. I do have a small piece of new information for you. Oh? What?
Yeah, do tell us, Inspector. Please.
Okay. What is it? It's this. Oh. The Beauty-as medical officer has finished his examination of the body. I managed to obtain the report.
Sweet!
Oh. Kazuma's post-mortem report?
Kazuma-sama.
So, what was the cause of death? Damage to the cervical vertebrae. It's what's written in the report. Oh.
His neck was broken?
Yes, it would seem so. There were no obvious wounds or other signs of injury. So at first, I think they were considering poison. But it turns out they found no trace of poison in the system at all. Well, that's interesting. Okay. In which case, yeah, it does check out. Because if I were to think of what I said before, how they put the poison the second time. Unless we're talking about a snake that did that, but otherwise, yeah, you see like signs of struggle around the room. Meaning that it wasn't quite poison. Like, unless we're talking about Kazuma feeling, oh god, what is going on? I'm feeling so weird. Ah, I'm feeling pain. And then he just starts wrecking the place, like trying to keep his foot and such. And then he stumbled like all the stuff like around. But besides that, yeah, it could have been a struggle. And then the culprit ended up snapping his neck in the process. Oof. What weapon was used then? Nothing has been found as yet. But the fact that there are no signs of a wound suggests it may have been a blunt object. Something that wouldn't leave a mark. Okay, well I was thinking that they used their hands, but... a blunt object that won't leave a mark. Oh, I see.
Well, the body's nerves run through the spine to the brain. A strong enough impact to the neck could induce death. is a possibility. An obvious wound would be left.
Poor Kazuma. I have a second copy of the report. If it might be useful, you're welcome to have it. Ready? Are you sure? Yep, it's fine. I trust you. Oh, that's nice. After all, if I didn't trust you, I'd never have agreed to you leaving this cabin in the first place, would I? No. The post-mortem report has been entered into court records. A report from SS Bureau's medical officer giving the cause of death as a cervical spine injury. There were no traces of external injury or poison. Yeah, it certainly makes me think. Certainly makes me think indeed. Okay. Male, Far Eastern, time of death, sometime between 1 AM and a little past 2 AM. Cause of death, damage to the cervical vertebrae resulting in instant death. The victim's neck was almost certainly broken as a result of a strong blow to the area. No obvious external injuries or traces of blood. Will you use your hand? Do like a karate chop? Hoo-yah! Maybe. Actually, hold on, is that it? Happening so. Yeah, this is something that I'm definitely gonna have to think about.
Oh, Mr. Shum was here, was he?
Yeah. He seemed to be enjoying himself a little too much as he crept about on the foot to investigate. But then he suddenly left. I suppose he must have become bored. Did he say anything at all? Actually, now you mention it, yes. Just one thing, but he practically shouted it. It's shoe polish! Was all he said. Shoe polish? Shoe polish? I wonder what he meant. I mean, it could be referring to that mark on the floor. Shoe polish. Hold on, first things first, let me... Again, it's my English. I don't know what that means, actually. Like, I'm thinking it's a substance that you use on shoes to make them look shiny and such. Yeah, there you go. There's the shoe cream and such. Would that be the explanation for the marking? Like, it would be a shoe. In which case, what? Did this actually leave a mark? Did somebody leave a mark on the floor with the foot because of the polish? Is that it? Nah. I'm definitely gonna have to think about this. It was when he was over there, by the piece of broken glass. Do you see? Perhaps he was talking about this brick-colored mark, do you think?
Perhaps he was talking about this brick-colored mark, do you think?
Yes, that must be it.
But how could Mr. Shums know that it's shoe polish?
That leaves me cold, I'm afraid. I have no idea. I mean, is somebody around here a fan of polishing their shoes? What is it, Sasato-san?
Well, because someone was wearing leather shoes with a very dark tan hue.
Dark tan. A sort of dark brownish red then.
Yeah, a little like the color of red wine, but darker. I often repaired them for him.
Oh, does this mean that this mark was made by the polish on Kazuma's shoes as they scuffed on the floor? Yeah, I was thinking of that as well, like... Maybe similarly to tire tracks, they will leave that mark because of their shoes. In which case, I guess what we can get out of this is to take into account what people wear, what shoes people wear. well, when we go through this entire thing. I guess that's one new extra idea that we can get out of this. That's really all I can tell you at this stage. Alright, time to continue this. Took my break there, and there are quite a few stuff that I want to talk about, but let me continue this a little bit. I won't say that I want to talk about it like right now. I should return to my post. My fellow crewman's eyes are boring into the back of my head. Yeah, that might be for the best. Thank you, Hasnada.
Poor Inspector. You look exhausted.
No. Well, I feel terrible that I failed to protect Osori-san. It was my responsibility. Of course, my pain is nothing compared to yours. You were his friends. The truth is, I seem to have had a very heavy head ever since I woke this morning. Mm-hmm. A heavy head? Well, that's interesting. And still throbbing, too. Your head is hurting, too. Pretty interesting. But, okay. I guess it's time for us to continue our examination of this, well, if there's anything that we can examine, actually. It kind of makes me think, but... Okay. So, a couple of things that I want to talk about, and I want to talk about them, like, really fast right over here. Like, continuing my thoughts about the dance of deduction and all that, and how cool it was. I assume that this is a mechanic that is gonna replace the Psyclocks in the trilogy, because I don't know, unless Susato over here is gonna reveal herself as a person that knows that stuff too, similarly to Maya, or we're gonna be dealing with channeling spirits in this as well at some point, or who knows. But as far as I can see, maybe this is gonna replace the Psyclock thing, the whole dance of deduction thing. And it's cool. And, you know, it made me think of how the Psyclocks worked, and, like, you know, it was a pretty cool mechanic. It's gonna be a little bit sad to see it gone for this if we're not gonna be able to see this. Like, the Psyclocks was pretty cool, like, in the trilogy, in the sense that not only was it, like from a narrative standpoint, it was pretty cool to break the chains of the person you're questioning, not just figuratively, but also emotionally, because, like, once you corner them, then all their guard is up, and they're gonna think, well, I guess there's no room for doubt, I'm not gonna be able to hide this, I guess it's time to come up clean. So yeah, that was actually pretty cool when it comes to Psyclocks. Like, not only was it like a cool thing that happened, but also, narratively speaking, it made sense as such. About the deduction, like the dance of deduction, it is cool. And, you know, it actually made me think of unreliable narration a little bit. But in this case, it will be like a Picaro situation where maybe the dance of deduction was already in Ryonosuke's head. In reality, it was something more grounded, like Ryonosuke would come up to Sholmes and say his reasoning, and we would accept that as the much better reasoning. But in Ryonosuke's mind, with the unreliable narration that we see, it was all like Ryonosuke was dancing together with Sholmes, because he liked imagining that as well, which it would have been funny, and it would have added like some more characterization to Ryonosuke, that he loves the drama as well. It actually would have been funny if that were the case, because similarly to the handcuffs, like, maybe, like, you saw that he was free at the beginning. Sholmes got rid of his handcuffs, and by the end of the dance of deduction, his handcuffs were back. Like, maybe Ryunosuke imagined himself, like, free and so powerful together with Sholmes, when in reality, he still had his cuffs on him while he was um, questioning Sholmes' deductions and such. That's actually, like, a thought that I had in mind. And so okay, there's that. Now, in regards to the investigation right over here, I've been thinking about this. Like, let me see this a little bit. Like, we see this glass bell type thing. I mean, what could, like, I guess it made me think of this before, but I didn't really process it. But yeah, like, what else can cut something like that? Kazuma's katana, of course. It can very well be that Kazuma, bro, like, cut this in two. And, well, there's also the...
I suppose it must be from Kazuma-sama's shoes.
Maybe. But what I'd like to know is... Oh, hey, actually, hold on, let me see. Is this actually new? The other half is nowhere to be seen, and that's the brick-colored mark. How can the detective be so sure that it's shoe polish and not something else?
Because he's a great detective, of course.
That's hardly a reason, is it? I mean, it could be something else. But if we were to go with the idea that, okay, this is shoe polish, I was thinking about this a little bit, like, how did that happen? Like, maybe it was something similar to tire tracks. So it kind of makes me think of this situation. Kazuma sees the speckled band at 1:35 p.m., which I can only assume that we're talking about Pavlova's pet that came from the other side. It came right over here through the ventilator, and then I guess my guess would be that the speckled band attacked Kazuma, and then Kazuma drew his sword, and then he'll be like, "Oh, on guard, speckled band fiend!" And then he cuts the speckled band's like a little thingy over here, because I was thinking that maybe this is a bell that came from this, or maybe it came from Susato, like some kimono, but maybe it could be like a decorative thing, like something you put on the collar, because you can put like small bells and such on collars for pets, like dogs and cats. Actually, I don't know about dogs, but maybe cats. Like, you could put something like that. Maybe he got attacked by a cat or something like that. And then he'll be all, on guard! And then he cuts the pet's, like the cat's or the speckled band's thingy right over here. This tiny glass over here in two. And then, well, I guess during that, he might have fell. Like, this could very well have happened while he fell on his back. Like, when he fell on his back, his shoe just traced the floor like that. And I guess, like, yeah, while you are falling on your back, it could very well be that you would hit something on the neck, on the back, if you were to fall at a bad angle or you fall into something. And I guess from this angle, it kind of makes it feel like Kazuma was looking at the door, so he would fall on the back, like probably near the bed here, over here. Maybe he hit like the bed frame, like right over here, or there was something else. Like, that is one thing that I was thinking about. Like, I was thinking about this possibility. Like, Kazuma cut the bell-like thing, and then he fell. Which, which would definitely be interesting. Like, that is one possibility. But, okay, let's see. Is there anything else that we can investigate? I mean, this whole this feels new.
It does seem to be an unambiguous pointer to you, Naruto-san, as you are sleeping in there.
But if it's really unambiguous, you should just spell out my name, don't you think?
Oh, either way, one fact remains. It's hard to imagine that Kazuma-sama would have written his last words, or word in Russian.
You know what? I think that, like, Susato brings up a good point right over here. When you write your dying message before you die, you would write the name of your killer. Like, it happened, like, I do remember one case, like, a long time ago, where, again, the whole thing with this dying message looks like something, but in actuality was something else. Like, normally you would think that you would write the dying like, in your dying message, you would write the name of your culprit, so that others would see it. If that were the case, then Ryunosuke definitely, like, Kazuma definitely would have written the name of their culprit. Or, with the new information that we got, the culprit would write the name of Ryunosuke. But they didn't. Instead, they wrote wardrobe. Meaning that the culprit surely did not know Ryunosuke. So, I mean, does it help that much? Maybe. It would tell us at least, it would tell us that it wasn't somebody that we knew at the very least. Like, we can sleep at night knowing that it was not Susato or Hosanaga, cause otherwise they would have written Ryunosuke's name, not wardrobe and such. So, rest assured, folks, he was not Susato. Which begs the question of who did write it. It certainly makes you question. And this is where Kazuma spent his final moments, writing his diary.
1:23 a.m. I can hear a faint whistling sound.
Yeah, that's still something that I'm gonna have to think about.
Well, looks like some sort of speckled band is dangling from the ventilator grill.
I think he has writing here on this page. It's almost impossible to believe that he's gone.
Kazuma-sama left us a valuable clue in these words. I'm sure of it. You have to solve this mystery, Naruto-san.
And we will. Indeed we will. Like, some stuff around here is checked, and other stuff are not. Okay, this is weird. Like, now I am remembering something over here from the second cabin. I feel like I vaguely remember how the books were also, like, tilted and such. The statue fell over, similarly to right over here. I was thinking that maybe the culprit, or during the struggle, like, the books were moved. Maybe the culprit was looking through the books. Cause one motive that I was thinking about while I was talking about the whole thing with Kazuma dying of here is that the culprit wanted to get in here without Kazuma knowing that the culprit went in here, and they wanted to find whatever it is that they were trying to find, but I don't know. The fact that the books were also, like, tilted on in the second cabin, that's actually pretty interesting. All the books provided for passengers occupying this cabin, neatly arranged on the shelf. They were all over the place when we first looked around, if you remember. Oh yeah, and you tidied them up, didn't you?
You have to look after the ship's property. Unruly behavior in the cabins leads to damage.
But it really wasn't me who knocked them over.
Well, anyway, I feel much better now that they're neatly lined up. I can relax when things are untidy.
Well, Well, that's good. Yeah, it's actually pretty good. These are the rules of passage for travel aboard the SS Beauty.
Passengers must not keep weapons or other dangerous objects in their cabins. Pets are also strictly forbidden.
So by bringing her pet on board, Miss Pavlova has broken the rules.
She called it her friend, didn't she?
Yeah. Although we don't know what form this friend takes as yet. It does make me think. From a narrative perspective right over here, we know that there is a pet in there. We clarified that. I mean, even Pavlova confessed. And yet, the form of the pet we still don't know. She did not want us to see that pet, even if we know that it exists. Like, in a normal situation, if you are revealed to have a pet on the ship, you will just, like, finally open the case, since you already got discovered, and show them your pet. And yet she didn't. We still don't know the form of our pet, meaning that the mystery of what this pet is still important to us. Which would mean that the form that this pet takes is a huge clue. So
I'm almost certain that whatever it is, it's inside the traveling case in their cabin.
A friend. There's more to this than it seems, I think. Like, it could very well be a case of, well, if we are to reveal that clue now, it would make things way too easier for our reader to solve things. We want the reader to feel more challenged. Thus, we're not gonna reveal the pet yet. Do you have anything to say? You, where did you go? Sorry, I just went to the next door cabin to... What? Who gave you permission for this? Well, I mean... Seaman Hosonaga did. That new Japanese, was it? Later, I will roll him into bowl and throw him in cold room. God damn it, these people. Why are they such brutes?
I hope Inspector Hosonaga doesn't find himself in too much trouble on our account.
He's gone on his way to help us, hasn't he? When we get back to Japan, we'll have to take him for a steak at La Carnival. Yeah, well, I can definitely say that Hosonaga is officially part of our crew. He is our... well... You could say that he's our gumshoe, but we also have Herlock Sholmes over here. I mean, hey, what's better than one gumshoe-like character? Two gumshoe-like characters.
That could be a very long time from now, Ota-san.
Oh, hold on a second, yeah. Okay, I was also thinking about this. Like, this didn't even cross my mind for a really long time, because... usually the way things go with these adventures, like Ace Attorney, you would have the investigation point, and then you have the trial. And then you have another day with another investigation part, and then a trial, and so on. What the fuck are we even gonna do now? Like, yeah, we are investigating, but from what I understood, there's like a total of 50 days until we arrive at our destination, right? And we're on week 2, right? Meaning that we still have 36 days left. What, are we just gonna wait and... are we just gonna investigate this entire thing, like, by ourselves and then wait, like, an entire month to do our trial? I mean, that's surely interesting. Like, it certainly is interesting. Unless, like, for once, like, Ace Attorney is gonna do something completely drastic and we're gonna have a chapter that doesn't have a trial, and we're gonna be solving this entire case just by investigating ourselves, a.a. Sherlock Holmes style, like a good old murder mystery style. That would actually be pretty cool. I would actually love that. Like, that would actually be something pretty new for this. Like, it does something completely different from us, for us. Okay, what the fuck what am I supposed to do right now? We cannot present. We cannot converse with anybody. Shall we move? I mean, I guess we can. Like, this actually is pretty interesting if it changes the structure of the game, that we don't have to always do, like, not class trials. We don't always have to do trials. Sometimes you're just gonna be able to figure out the culprit in a good old-fashioned murder mystery style.